Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by TaylorMade.
House that Jack built, Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio, outside of Columbus. It was a warm day, and again, pretty good scoring. And certainly not as easy as a week ago when they absolutely chewed it up on Donald Ross course, Detroit Golf Club. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner, pleased to be alongside four-time PGA Tour winner Billy Kratzert. How about Tiger on the way back next week?
Yeah, that's going to be exciting, and he's ready to get back. He's been on the sidelines since Genesis, as you said, and anxious to get back. And I think his game's going to be ready. He loves his.
Why do you say that?
Because the way he drove the ball in the match with Mickelson and Brady and Peyton Manning, he drove the ball well. The iron play, he's always been the best iron player for my money. And, winning 5 times here, I think he's familiar with this place.
Yes, he is. More on Tiger a little bit later on.
Yeah, it was a really solid day. Got off to a good start with a lot of, 4 pars, but I was hitting them pretty close, hitting my iron shots good. Tee shots felt great. And I knew if I just kept that going, I was going to make some birdies. I didn't know how many, but just kind of build momentum off of that. So the iron shots is where I really felt comfortable today. And just took advantage of those approach shots.
Do you have a bad taste in your mouth? They say that you have a bad taste in your mouth if you bogey the last hole.
I mean, it happens. I think it was just slight fatigue, just, 16, 17, 18. I didn't hit my iron shots solid. And, you're going to get away with some like I did on 16, and you're not on like I did on 18. It was a pretty routine bunker shot. Just didn't hit a good shot, didn't hit a good putt. But if I look at the entire day, it was very consistent. It was very solid. I can take a lot of positives heading into tomorrow.
I'm interested. What did you do with your first weekend off from PGA Tour?
I flew straight home, got some dinner, hung out with my girlfriend. We're fostering dogs, and just relaxed. It's always nice to be home, especially when you get a week off after everything started up, 3 weeks on the road. But same thing. Take a few days off, get ready to play, and get back out here. I was excited to come back. It's to have 2 tournaments at the same course. It's going to be a lot of fun this week.
We'll segue into it. Your thoughts on this course and the challenges getting ready to it, even though you fell in love with it the first time you saw it.
No, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful track. It's a very tough course, obviously, but you just have to map your way around it. You got to be really smart. If you're not in the fairway, you got to make sure you play smart. So I was playing smart, but I felt good with my iron, so I was able to attack some pins when they're, accessible. So we'll see what everything plays out tomorrow with the wind, weather, what everything's like.
Well, Billy, he's not only a really good player, apparently he's a really good dude because he and his girlfriend are fostering dogs, right? You have to love that. He said something to Todd Lewis, it sort of echoes what he just said at the end of that interview. He said, you have to be smart at Muirfield Village, and that works to my advantage.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's a heady player out of Cal, was a really good student, and you can sort of sense that and see that as he plots his way around a golf course.
Yeah, he's very patient, and you could hear just in that little conversation right there, that presser, his whole outlook about the game, about life, what he does, and when he does get away from the game and how he spends his time. And I think that's very important to players. I think sometimes they get so involved in wanting to be so good, so perfect, that they kind of get in their own way from time to time. But it sounds like Collin Morikawa, that he has everything pretty much in order and he knows exactly what he wants to accomplish.
What stood out today?
The iron play stood out today, at least to me.
It always seems to.
Right. And, he doesn't have any memory of the greens being quicker than this. So he's seen Muirfield for the first time and playing it in competition for the first time. So he doesn't look at putts like other players would, like a Mickelson or Koepka or some of these guys that have a history here, Jordan Spieth. So I think it was to his advantage, but I think what he did prior to the start was just awesome. And this is what he and his swing coach, Rick Sussinghouse, you can see the tweet that he put out. It was great to be back on tour with Collin Morikawa at Muirfield Village. We put together a game plan with his caddy JJ. A productive practice round requires hitting all the shots, so situational. He is swinging well, and we refined a couple of things, and it certainly worked. Or you look at what he did today, I mean, this proximity to the hole was just sensational. I mean, outstanding.
Lights out.
that is some really good work right there. And he made the eagle on number 5. And, you look at this, what he did with the iron play today. Muirfield's a second shot golf course. Your irons have to be good. The fairways are wide enough that I think all the players are going to hit a fair amount of fairways. But the iron play, Jack was always a good iron player, Tiger a good iron player, Collin Morikawa, of course, is a good iron player, and so he's off to a great start.
Give me an idea of this sort of meteoric rise for this young guy. At the end of 2018, he was 2006 in the official world golf ranking. A year and a half later, Collin Morikawa is 29th. And you said I think it was last week or the week before that, this is a guy who, break here, break there, could already be a 3-time winner. He has that one victory. He's only been pro for like 13 months.
Yeah, at Colonial, he had that one little putt in the playoff to where he didn't continue the playoff. He lost the playoff to Berger. But, here's a young man, and this is what I like to see, Rich. When you start looking at a player and they assess what they've done, and you look at the last 4 rounds that Collin Morikawa has played, the iron play was off. I need to make a correction. His strokes gained approach, it was way off. In fact, it was -4 at RBC Heritage. It was minus 1.83 at Travelers, and again, minus 1.47 where he missed the cut. So he makes the correction, and today, plus 3.5. So that's the beauty of being able to work with a guy like Collin Morikawa, who not only understands how to play the game, but he understands his swing, and the two are relatable, and he and Rick have made a nice connection.
Phil Mickelson. I'm not going to see what happened, but it's Phil, right? I mean, he's 4 under, he's rolling. You get to thinking, wow, we got to have a week with Phil, and then it just, spins out on the back 9.
Well, you look at the way that he played the first 11 holes. He hits 9 of 11 greens, and then the last 7 holes, he hits 2 of 7. And not only was he making physical mistakes, but then he was making mental mistakes as well. And it's kind of when it starts rolling that way, he hasn't had the ability to just go ahead and stop it. We've seen good play.
Yeah.
And that correction hasn't been able to happen for Phil on the golf course yet. Yeah. We saw him at Travelers and got off to a good start, and then the weekend went away from him.
How about Jordan?
Jordan, as hard as I pull for Jordan,
we all do.
It was refreshing to see him come back from being 3 over, because his head was down. He was really upset with himself. He was, a little miffed that he wasn't getting the results, because I'm sure he's put in the work. But like I said, I think the birdie at 14, then the eagle at 15. I think if he plays well, I think that's going to bode well for him. Big.
Who wins first, Jordan or Phil?
At this point, I would say Phil.
Okay, that might surprise a lot of people.
Well, I just think that Phil, that thirst, that want that he has, that it kind of goes back to his earlier days. I think he wants to win after turning 50 as much as he did when he first got on tour.
Imagine saying that a few years ago. With Jordan, 27 now.
You'd have never heard it years ago.
Right? And now you're saying you like
2017,
the 50-year-old to win first. But it is really nice to have Tiger back. I think, we're thankful we have the golf, right? But 5 weeks in, somebody said to me, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but every week sort of feels like Kapalua, sort of quiet. There's just not a lot of juice. Even without fans, you expect Tiger to bring a little juice to the tour.
Yeah, you talk about players that move the needle, and certainly Mickelson will move the needle, and now that Bryson's playing so well with the transformation of his body and golf game. So, yeah, there are guys that move the needle, but there are no players that move the needle like Tiger Woods. Yeah. And, I think it's great that he's decided to come back and play and kind of sharpen his skills before he goes into this stretch where we're going to have 3 majors. So going forward, we'll see where he is after this Memorial.
I think I know the answer, but I'll ask you, why do you think he waited this long, and where else do you think we'll see him play going forward?
Well, I think when you look at the schedule, you look at the three majors, and will he play the WGCs? I don't know, but I think a lot of it is protection of the body, and with three majors, with the PGA coming up in August, then U.S. Open in September, and then obviously the Masters scheduled for November. I think there is kind of a build-up working towards that, because let's be honest, the majors are the main focus for Tiger Woods. You throw the majors and you throw the players in there. Those are the tournaments in the WGCs that he holds dearest.
Yeah, we'll see. The WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational is the week before San Francisco and the PGA Championship. Not sure if Tiger will play there. If I'm a betting man, I would say no, just again to protect that body. He's at 15. We're at Jack's house. I'll throw the question out. He's going to be 45 in December, Tiger. No one's won more than one major after the age of 43. Tiger's already done that. Mm-hmm. You still think he has a crack at Nicklaus? I think it's a big mountain to climb.
It would be a stretch, I think. I think everything would have to fall in place just perfectly, not only the health, the golf game. You look at the guys at the top, in the top 5 in the official world golf rankings. They're not going to go away anytime soon, and those guys are getting longer. Tiger has to do it differently. He has to go ahead and he has to massage it in the fairway and give himself opportunities like that. He and Phil have recognized that they no longer have that fastball, so you go with the off speed.